Welcome to the Embarcadero Community Webcast for Monday, March 30th. Let's take a look and see what's happening in the community for application developers, database architects, and data modelers. Here we are on the home page, and I'm logged in so you can see featured articles, upcoming events, Q&A, latest news. You can even down below see some of the new users. In most cases, you can right mouse click on the different headings to get to the different sections, or you can use the pull-down menus to get to subsections of the community site. Let's take a look at some of the news that's taking place in the community. Just a reminder that the Rad Studio XC7 Offer ends tomorrow on Tuesday, March 31st. There's a community article that's in the featured section. You can take a look at that. It gives you all the details at a top level, and then you can click on the link to learn more. Our database tool team is at Enterprise Data World this week in Washington, D.C. So if you're in that area and can get there, we're at the Grand Hyatt, lots of events going on, lots of members. We're a gold sponsor at this year's event. So you can take a look and see what's happening if you happen to be at Enterprise Data World, or if you're close by, go visit our team. There's a data modeling news flash that came out March 2015, issue 2, which has information of interest to data modelers, including white papers, webinar replays, and upcoming webinars that you might be interested in. One of these coming up on April 16th is Become Agile with Data Modeling with Vic Vanderlands. So that'll be a great event on the 16th. Also, thank you for everyone who joined us during Delphi Week. In February, we have the replay links and the Tumblr links for articles, development stories of Delphi developers on Google+. And on Reddit, there's an Ask Developer Relations Almost Anything log that you can go through at your leisure and see what questions developers were asking and the information that we gave along with links. So the replays have the tips and tricks and interviews and also demonstrations. So check out everything that's related to Delphi Week in the article on the community site. On the community calendar, there's lots of events coming up this week and in the coming weeks. So you can check out the calendar. I mentioned Enterprise Data World. There's an upcoming event on April 2nd with Carrie Jensen. It's a Rad in Action, mobilizing your business with enterprise mobility services middleware. That's going to take place on April 2nd at 6 a.m., 11 a.m., and 5 p.m. Pacific time. Alternating every Thursday are the DB Power Studio Best Practices Demo and ER Studio Best Practices Demo. Also, starting in April, the Delphi Developer Days with Carrie Jensen and Ray Konopka are going to be hitting Chicago on the 13th and 14th of April. Jim McKeith will be there to open up Monday morning, and also we're inviting the community to come on Monday evening. Jim will be there to present some demonstrations and also talk to all of you. So if you're in the Chicago area, or if you're already coming to the Delphi Developer Days, 2 days of intense technical training with Carrie and Ray, stop by and see Jim in the evening as well. And then Delphi Developer Days is also going to Europe in Amsterdam and Frankfurt, and then in Scandinavia and Oslo in April and May of this year. So check out DelphiDeveloperDays.com and get all of the information about 2 days of intensive training. We have lots happening on the community blogs. You can get to different featured bloggers at the top, or you can view all the blogs, or just click on the blog link to get to the most recent blog posts that have happened. Let's take a look at a few of those. I was asked several times in the past whether there's a spell checking component for VCL and FireMonkey apps. We don't deliver one ourselves, but our tech partners at TMS Software have a spell checking component set for VCL and FireMonkey apps. So check out my blog from last week where I have links to the replay that Bruno Ferenz from TMS Software did back in February, in that he previewed the spell checking components working. And they now have those available, so you can go and check out the spell check page for VCL and the spell check for FMX pages on the TMS Software page. Take a look at my recent blog post from Friday and click on the links, and you'll get there fast. We've completed the developer skill sprints for Q1. On the landing page, we've got the links on the right-hand side to all of the replays of the developer skill sprints, actually going all the way back to the start, which was last May, with C++ packages in your 64-bit window apps. So you can take a look and click on the links. They're all on our YouTube Embarcadero channel. And we'll be scheduling new skill sprints for Q2 very soon, so stay tuned to the blog posts and the community calendar for news about that. We're going to be starting, I think, April 21st and doing skill sprints on Tuesday. Also, this is the playlist on the Embarcadero YouTube channel for developer skill sprints. So these are in reverse order by how they took place. So you can see the most recent skill sprints on the playlist at the top. But again, the playlist goes all the way back to the beginning. So you can go and check out individual topics. Also, FireDAC, we completed the FireDAC skill sprints on the Thursdays. So you can take a look at all of the replays of all of the FireDAC skill sprints that have taken place. We also have the Technology Partner Spotlight series that's completed now, and here are the Technology Partner Spotlights. I have one more to do at the end for both the Developer Skill Sprints and FireDAC. So stay tuned to these playlists and the landing pages for the complete list, including the ones that took place last week. Also on the blog, Joy posted a link to an interview that Ron Hazenga did on Agile Data Modeling. He's the ER Studio Product Manager. And so you can click on the link to listen to his interview that took place. Marco Cantu also did a blog post. He's updated his draft Object Pascal Handbook. So all of you that have XC7, you can go up to Code Central and download the item. It's part of the Rad offer of XC7. And then he's got more information about his book on marcocantu.com/Object Pascal Handbook. Check that out. If you've got XE7, you can go and grab from your registries, your download area, the latest draft of Object Pascal Handbook. Anil also posted an article on the blogs with links to videos about ER Studio MetaWizard for enabling moving objects from one data modeling platform to another for various reasons. Here he's doing an export to IBM Cognos, another one, the diagram view of logical and physical models being imported into ER Studio. So check out Anil's blog on the ER Studio MetaWizard. In the Community 3.0 site, we have the questions and answers area, which is different from the newsgroup forums. The newsgroup forums are for conversations. We use the answers area from the main menu to post a question. Maybe you're having an issue or you need a piece of technical information, post a question, and a community member and or an Embarcadero team member will give you the answer or point you in the right direction. So let's take a look at some of the recent questions that came up. Let's see, Alberto asked about what about SSL and how to use that with his apps. And Eli posted Android comes with OpenSSL built in. On Windows, you have to go and grab the OpenSSL DLLs and use them with your Windows version of the apps. On iOS, you download and grab the static libraries, the .a files, and include them in your project. For Android, they're already there. And Eli mentions Marco Cantu's blog about using SSL Delphi on iOS. And you can also go to the Doc Wiki to find out additional information about SSL on all of the platforms and what to do about it. Michael asked about how you could do a filtered open dialog on Macintosh, for example. And the T-Open dialog that we have currently with FireMonkey just uses the Apple Open dialog. There's no filter box like there is on Windows. You can still use the filter property, and Michael mentioned that. He said, I found the T-Open dialog filter property works on Mac as long as the files have extensions like those on Windows. On the Macintosh, oftentimes there aren't file extensions. The open file dialog box, there is a search box as part of the open file dialog when your FireMonkey app runs on Macintosh, so you can type in parts of a name to search. That's in the upper right-hand corner of the open file dialog. Let's see. Enrique said he was getting an E4104 message when he was building a mobile app, and then he changed the application and then wanted to deploy it again. And I posted a link to the Doc Wiki, which talks about what you might do when you get an E4104 enabled execute command. Just the note in the Doc Wiki says, just ensure you have the Android SDK, that you've assigned the Android target platform in your project, configure it to be ARM, Linux, Android. And so take a look at that question and the Doc Wiki if you're getting the E4104 message. Jan or Jan was saying he's having trouble deploying the SQLite database on iOS, and he's got the right database connection with FireDAC, but he wants to make sure that he's passing the right underlying database file. There is an option for FireDAC if the database doesn't exist to create it, but if you're trying to deploy a specific database for SQLite, then you need to make sure that you have the correct path. And on iOS and Android, path and file names are case sensitive to make sure that's okay. Steve also posted information about what you might do for setting the database, setting on different platforms on iOS and Android and on Macintosh, for example, versus Windows, using functions in the IOUtils unit to make sure that you have the right path to where your file will be. Make sure that you get the right documents path, whether it's assets internal or assets external, depending on where you're deploying the database itself. Startup documents, again, make sure you have capital S, capital U, capital D on iOS. And then Jan or Jan is saying that it worked when he added the database to the project, and then the deployment automatically filled in correctly for iOS and Android. So, and posts the link to setting up your database deployment for mobile. There's a link in the doc wiki. Ayub was having trouble. He had built an app and he was trying to upload the file using iTunes Connect, and he was getting an error, invalid launch image. And so I posted a link to the developer.apple.com to make sure that you have the correct sizes and valid bitmaps for all of the device form factors. And you get to that by saying project options application, and you'll see for iOS target and making sure that you have the correct sizes, and Apple will tell you what sizes are required for each mobile target that you're trying to deploy and put an application in the Apple App Store. And again, you can check the bitmaps if you go to Project Options Applications. You can click on each of that you've added for your application and see whether those bitmaps show up in the preview that's part of the application dialog that comes up as Project Options Applications. And then Jensen was saying he was using Studio Data Architect. He wants to share domains. He needs a enterprise data dictionary for the repository. How can he share the entity in the logical model or table, physical model between application models? And Anil answered, first, congrats using Data Architect. You need the repository for sharing and versioning your models. And he's got a link to the doc wiki about using compare and merge utility to make sure that you have the right information in the repositories for your data models. And then finally, I just wanted to go to the Rad Studio XC7 Offer page. We've got this countdown timer, 1 day, 12 hours, 3 minutes, and 0 seconds for the biggest Rad offer ever. It's exclusively available until the end of the day, March 31st. So with that, you get the next major release for free. You also get all of the promos, which includes the premium styles, the Object Pascal Handbook, and so on. You can also take advantage of the buy one, get one free. You get another tool of equal or lesser value, whether that's a developer tool or database tool. And again, if you have an older version, meaning XZ2 and earlier, you can still get the upgrade price for any earlier version if you add 1 year of update subscription. Also, if you upgrade from professional to enterprise, we'll give you 10 user deployment license for enterprise mobility services. And there's the bonus pack, which is the Object Pascal Handbook, updated by Marco, Castelia for Delphi, a productivity plugin for Delphi developers in the IDE, the premium styles for VCL and FireMonkey, and the Meta Converter Basic, which will take your VCL forms and convert them to FireMonkey forms, as well as converting your database access components to use the live bindings. And so you get the data bindings built in as you move your app to FireMonkey. So that works with the forms. You just point the Meta Converter, which is the download, at your forms in your project, and it will convert them and create FireMonkey versions of the forms. You can see the past community webcasts on the Embarcadero YouTube channel. Just go to the Embarcadero Community Webcasts 2015 playlist, and you can go and watch each of those. Also, you'll find the links that I cover in each of the webcasts on my blog on Embarcadero Community Blogs. David I. Sip from the Fire Hose. So that's it for this week's webcast. Check out everything that's happening on community.embarcadero.com in the questions, upcoming events, latest news, articles, users, blogs, and even the forums. So we'll see you again next time.